Alright, alright guys. Some more Dota action coming on. This time it will be Dota 2 Danger Cup as far as I'm aware. The name of the cup. Just last second thing, I'm joining in for the second game. Comanche versus Friends is a best of 2 series. Friends won the first one, so you know, it's just one more game for seedings in the group stage and whatnot. I'm not too sure. Like I said, last minute thing. I will also be casting the next series, I believe, which is in an hour or so. Either way, second game starting up, and let's see what these two teams can do. As Friends, we know them. They are very, very powerful. They do looking pretty solid, at least compared to tier 2 teams. They're usually a team that you would, you know, put close to teams like Escape Gaming or at least like up there in the rankings. So playing against Comanche, they do have some background, but playing up against Friends, they may be just a little bit better, or we at least would expect that. And looking at the group at the last game, you know, Friends, they beat them, so it kind of looks like that's the case, that Friends, they may just be the better team. Either way, we'll see what Comanche can do about it in the second game. And Bad Rider does get banned out first by Friends. Sand King gets banned out by Comanche. Nothing too unusual about those two bans. Both offlaners, both very powerful. You know, they both fit kind of the same role, where you want a support hero to help them along in the early game, and then they can just be very aggressive and put a lot of pressure on the safe laner. So it looks like both of the teams, they want a safe lane that will not be heavily contested. Elder Titan gets banned out by Friends. Also pretty logical. I believe Comanche is one of the teams that does still play Elder Titan quite a lot. The Faceless Void gets removed by Comanche, and first pick will be the Shadow Demon from Friends. I imagine Comanche will follow up with a Conquer plus Oracle. Okay. I wasn't necessarily going to say the Oracle, because a lot of teams that don't want to show both support heroes to start up with, so like Conquer Marana would maybe have been a little bit more common, but either way, they go for both heroes. They're both very powerful, especially now with the Luna being picked up instantly. Friends, it's very, you know, it's very CIS style to, like, once you pick up the Shadow Demon first pick, you followed up with the Shadow Demon, like with the Shadow Demon combo. You just secure yourself that safe laner who can synergize with the Shadow Demon with the illusions. And Luna, perfect example of that. The Eclipse is not that powerful this game, because you have Fate's Edict that can block it. False Promise can at least make it so you may survive as well. But the Luna Illusions is always something that can just get out of control if you get a lot of farm in the early game. Conquer, also pretty good against the Luna, but you do have the disruption as a save mechanism, so they do that have that available for them. Let's see though. Husker gets banned out by Friends. Oracle has been picked up by Comanche, so makes sense to take out the, you know, early game aggressive heroes. They may also just ban out that Drow, because Drow, at least personally, I would say Drow is better than Luna, because it outranges Luna. So even if Luna gets Dragonlance, Drow will get her own Dragonlance, and then Drow will just do a lot more physical damage to Luna than the other way around. Silence is good against the Luna early game before he has Manta or BKB as well. So I would like to see that happening, but we'll see. Friends, Comanche, they have a defensive support. They have a Conquer who can kind of be the frontliner, the one to start up the fights with the X mark. So I would believe that a Drow would be a natural go-to hero if they are allowed to pick it up in the next phase. Morphling gets removed. Also a very powerful safe laner, but I think the Drow is just a little bit more logical. Oops, that's not what we wanted to do. Alright. A little bit of a thinking break for Comanche, just trying to decide what the next go-to hero is. Okay, so if we expect that it could maybe not be the Drow Ranger, maybe they go for the Mirana first and they wait because friends they don't want to pick up the Drow. Like they already have a Luna, so it would be a little bit weird to see like a Drow mid plus a Luna safe lane. Obviously, it would synergize, giving the Luna a lot more right click damage early game, but it feels a little bit too greedy. So Comanche, they can wait with a Drow pick. They would have to pick it up now, most likely, to secure it. But we'll see. Slaughter does get picked up off laner. Most likely it has to jungle to start up with, depending on whether or not friends they get a greedy support here as the next one. Axe in the offlane position, very powerful, can jungle a lot faster than the Slaughter, so if both offlaners go for like this greedy jungle style, then the Axe will come out ahead. So friends, they just pick themselves up a lot of these aggressive heroes, and Axe is one of those heroes that can give space for the Luna, because you want someone who can make it so the Luna can like run into a team fight safely, pop his ultimate, do the damage, get the kills. And Axe, he enables the Luna very well with a blink, blink taunt, then the Luna walks in, does his things, and OD gets picked up straight after the Invoker from Comanche, as Invoker in the mid lane, very powerful hero, can shoot a lot of spells. Makes sense that they have like a boat that can follow up. They have an X mark, so Sunstrikes will be very easy to land this game as well, and with Blink Crushes as well. So Invoker is just a standard mid hero. The OD though is this new age hero. Like, look at the amount of saves suddenly that friends have. They have Astral, they have Disruption, they have a lot of damage with the OD as well in the early game. Sanity's Eclipse is an amazing spell. Like I said, still a lot of follow-up with the Axe Blink calls, with the OD and the Luna just dropping the hammer. So I like this OD pick, and I also feel like in the mid lane, OD versus Invoker, the OD actually has the upper hand if you go for the like up-to-date build on OD and max Astral, because it does such a huge amount of magical damage. Sure, the first 2 levels is very weak, but once you get level 3, level 4 Astral, then you can do so much work. Alrighty, guys. Last pick Pudge from the side of friends. The Drow did get banned out, actually from friends, surprisingly enough. Well, no, never mind me. That's what I expected, that they ban out the Drow, so Comanche cannot pick it up. I'm a little bit surprised that Comanche actually didn't pick up the Drow, and then because as the 4th pick, if they pick Drow, they have a safe lane who's very powerful, can do a lot of damage, and then the last pick could be either Invoker or Mirana, depending on what gets banned out. Both heroes would be pretty solid in this matchup, but now they're kind of stuck with, okay, safe laners, Morphling is gone, Drow is gone, Huskar is gone, Slug could be picked up, but it's pretty weak against the Axe, so I would expect Comanche to actually go for something a little bit out of the ordinary, maybe something like a Timbersaw safe lane. Not so good against the OD, but I just feel like heroes like Slug, would get abused a little bit too much. Sven gets picked up. A tanky safe lane, it makes sense. You need something that has some durability. It needs to be a tanky hero that doesn't just get killed when he's hooked and eaten by the Pudge, taunted by the axe, etc., etc. He needs to be survivable. The Sven is not that good against the OD before he gets BKB though. Also against the Luna, but once he has BKB, he fights pretty well. I would still say though that Friends lineup just feels a lot better. Like it feels like it covers their asses. They have good lanes. The Shadow Demon Luna lane, they can dual lane very easily. The Slaughter doesn't really have what it takes to go up against them in that lane. So he will most likely be forced to jungle. The Axe can jungle a lot faster, so he doesn't even have to show up in the lane against the Sven Oracle Kunkka. The OD versus Invoker, the OD would have it's an even matchup. However, considering that the Oracle and the Kunkka will be roaming on the OD a lot, OD is a very survivable hero. He has Astral, so he should be able to survive in most cases. Pudge can sit behind him, hook him out of troubles, and if they ever get a rod or hook onto the Invoker, they should be able to take him down fairly easily. So, friends, just from the drafting point of view, I would say that draft just looks a lot better. But Comanche, they do have a lot of strong heroes as well. They have the Kunkka, very powerful support here with the Oracle. These two heroes can do a lot of damage early game, where the Shadow Demon will most likely just sit in the safe lane for the bigger part of the early game. If it's like a slow safe lane where the Luna gets free farm, he will just stack up this camp and farm it himself. Stack this camp, farm that. If it's like an active safe lane where the Slaughter will try and contest them, he will just force him to not be there. Alright guys, just a little bit of a breathing room, a little pause, nothing too Alright, the game will start, and here we go. So second game in this best of 2 series, Comanche friends. Let's see. As both teams, they do go for some smoke movements. Comanche smoking out, just trying to get some early wards out of the way. The Kunkka in the bottom lane will get a very aggressive ward. He didn't actually get spotted out by the Pudge, as he was a little bit faster getting out of the base and then getting that TP out. So the Pudge being smoked up here actually expects to be able to spot out who will be warding this lane, but the Kunkka has already passed that bottom area. They will spot out this ward, so they will be able to deward that, but this one should just sit there for the whole game. The Pudge may anticipate that he's already been down here, because they saw the smoke breaking onto the Kunkka, so he could take a guess and try and guess whether it's here, or here. That's like the 3 normal places to ward when you make that kind of movement. So maybe he goes for that smoke, but they do get one of the wards removed, so that's a lot of vision being removed by Comanche already. And as for friends, they have a ward here. Doesn't look like that got spotted out. And the top area as well also didn't get spotted out. They even get a block here. So okay, they actually put two wards that block the same camp in the top lane, trying to make sure that Comanche will not be able to pull it too much. guys. So the lanes will be shaping up, and Slaughter in the bottom lane, he decides to go into the lane. The Oracle is helping him a little bit. We do have the Conker moving in as well, so this is a tri lane as they're just trying to put as much aggression onto this lane as humanly possible. They will get the first blood onto the Shadow Demon, and this surprise tri-lane movement was a little bit too much for Friends to handle. They will get a return kill onto the Oracle. The Pudge may die here though. He gets hit by the turret. He's very low. He has to route suicide, doesn't get the suicide off, and that will be a 2-for-1 trade. So nice movement from Comanche as they expected the Axe to just sit in the jungle, which he did, and then instead of like doing the same thing where the Slaughter goes to the jungle, they actually just make a tri lane, because the Axe will have at least like 1 minute in the safe lane where Chap will just solo the top lane, so he gets one free lane, and then they can just make this tri lane movement. Another 1-for-1 trade in the bottom lane. The Pudge looks like he may be taken down, so 2-for-1 yet again, as even the Luna is dropping very low. He doesn't get hit by the turn, so they won't be able to take him down, but they have made 2-for-1 trades so far, as they are just rocking the safe lane. And Comanche, you know, they're getting some last hits. The Slaughter has 2 last hits. The Luna is sitting on 4, so he's already being disturbed farming. And the Oracle is level 2. The Slaughter is level 2. He will maybe get level 3. The Conker is close to level 3 as well. So these heroes are just out of control already. You know, this is looking very grim for the Slaughter friends. They need to pull themselves together and defend this tri lane, and, you know, maybe try and put some pressure elsewhere so that they rotate away from the safe lane, or just try and make better fights down here, because they haven't really been able to dodge out the torrent so far. We'll see though. Mid lane, a little bit of an initiation onto the Invoker. They did not get the hook off, I believe though, so the Invoker will be fine. He will just sell himself up, and he is full HP again. The OD does have a bottle flying out to him with a Tango just being used, so he will slowly regen himself up as well. And let's see. Alright, they almost made it push the wave. They don't want it to push into the Slaughter, so nice just, you know, aggroing the creep wave with the Shadow Demon here, so they at least try to maintain control. Looks like they will. Let's see. Yeah, they will lose control, but it's okay, you know, they don't lose too much. Most of the creep wave will still be able to be not denied, so we're talking about maybe like 3 creeps that goes to the Slaughter. Slaughter's already just jungling, so he won't be able to. He doesn't bother about sitting in the lane and just waiting for the creeps. He already had a good start getting those couple of kills in the lane. So buy an Iron Talon, start jungling a little bit, and that's pretty much what they expected, because the Slaughter has to Iron Talon this game, but just getting the initial couple of kills just makes it so he has an early lead already. Mid lane, we do have the Oracle dropping down. Real good fella on the Pudge is trying to do something as well. He will be disrupted up by his teammates, and he will survive this one. They get the Invoker as well. Now they're trying to get a kill onto the Conker. They will try and dodge out the torrent. The OD will dodge it, so he doesn't get tanked now, but it doesn't look like they will be able to do anything else. The Conker is now moving into the top area, and this is a very, very long chase. The Pudge starts giving up on this chase as well. The torrent will fly out. They will not hit it though. As do they try and go for this? Yeah, that's very greedy, as the Pudge is literally sitting on 90 HP, so they decide to just back themselves up. He will pick up some Tranquil Boots, and they do get a 2-for-0 trade in the middle lane, as the OD gets a couple of kills his way, and he will have a half a level lead on the Invoker now, so that's always good. The Luna in the bottom lane though, in the meantime, is farming up very, very aggressively. He's level 5. Same thing can be said for Chappie and the Sven though. He's almost level 6. He's getting a lot of farm, and he can jungle a lot faster than the Luna can. Having so much free time in the lane, he can take the stack, which is pretty big by now. It is a dual stack. The reason why there's so many creeps is just because of the skeletons. Imagine he will just, you know, queue up his ultimate, then try and do some damage to the tower, as well as just clear his stacks as soon as possible. He will just pull this though. He wants to pull and stack it one more time, so it's a triple stack. You know, he takes away the next creep wave, and then he can try and push it afterwards, because that's a lot of farm going his way. The Invoker in the mid lane may be a little bit in trouble. He did get Ash rolled up by the OD. I think that's enough damage. Oh, it isn't though, as the OD will barely be unable to get that kill onto the Invoker, and now the Invoker may get a kill onto the OD. Beautiful hook by the Pudge, saving the OD from the last hit from the Conker, and the Conker will be taken down. The bottling will keep this guy alive on the OD, and now they can move up. They can try and get a kill on the Oracle as well. They will be doing a little bit of damage with that Astral Imprisonment, but the hook boy was not in position. He does not get the kill onto the Oracle. They do get one kill though. They do get one. It was a 1-for-1 trade though, as the Oracle killed the Pudge earlier, so an even trade in the end. And now the Pudge in the bottom lane, he is level 3. He could get a hook off onto the Slaughter. They do have the Eclipse available as well, so if they get a hook onto him, they will be able to take him down. There was some pings coming out from the Kunkka though, expecting the Pudge to sit on the low ground, so Shaco shouldn't be in any position to be hooked after getting told by his teammates that this Pudge will try and hook you. Do not get hooked, my friend. Do not get hooked. And now, as I was talking about in the top lane, the Sven does have his Helm of the Dominator completed now, so he can start stacking up the Ancients and get some more farm going his way. And this, like, generally these two heroes, the Sven will probably be able to farm a lot faster than the Luna, because he can clear Ancients a lot faster than the Luna. And even though the Luna wants to go for Helm of the Dominator as well and wants to stack up his own Ancients, the Sven could potentially even, like, steal them. So they need to be a little bit protective about the stacks on both sides of this in this game. Alright, a little bit of, okay, a scan being used, trying to spot out whether or not the Invoker is actually jungling. They do spot out that he is jungling here. I'm not really sure what that scan was supposed to reveal though. Because it should be pretty obvious that the Invoker will always be like jungling either here or here when he's not showing in the lane at the like this early in the game. I guess they just wanted to make this aggressive move on the slot in the bottom lane. They tried to kill him. They didn't actually get the kill though, as he was a little bit too slippery. You know, Tranquil boost level 3 sprint. He's very, very fast about his movement, so he does get out of this of the clutches of the enemy team. They didn't use anything big trying to get this kill though, so it's not the biggest worry in the world. And if we take a look at the farm, you can see the Sven, he's just rocking it right now. 20 last hits ahead of the Luna now. After clearing that stack he had and just, you know, jungling very aggressively. He will give the lane to the Kunkka as well, as I imagine the Kunkka will just sit in this lane. He went for the level 2 Tidebringer, so he wants to be able to do a lot of right-click damage this game. And when you go for Tidebringer like this, you want to get levels on the Kunkka as early as possible, because this is like the greedy position for Kunkka that goes for armlet drums. So at some point he needs to be given farm priority as well, and the Sven can just, you know, he can jungle very easily, so it makes sense that the Kunkka gets his level 6 in the lane now. The Oracle, bottom lane, trying to get some experience himself, doesn't really work out as he gets picked off by friends, so friends should be able to take this tower down now after getting that kill. Alright, T1 tower will be taken down in the bottom lane. And meanwhile, we do have the Oracle still just like clinging on to that experience. The Shadow Demon is sitting on level 5 after taking a little bit of farm in the jungle as well earlier. The Pudge is level 4 almost, so both the position 5, well, I think it's a position 4 Pudge, but he's just underfarmed right now. So the Pudge as well as the Oracle, they're very underfarmed as support heroes. They don't have too many levels and they need to make up for this, but obviously both of them, they kind of rely on getting kills to do this because they're roaming so much. Either way, let's see, if we take a look at the net worth now, we can see the Sven is slightly ahead of the Luna, only by a little bit, and followed up by the OD plus Axe. So the Axe is farming very well. He almost has his blink dagger complete, needs 800 more gold. The OD is also sitting on a decent amount of gold, and he's trying to find someone in the enemy jungle. We do have Chappie just jungling up. There's a courier there. He could have tried to snipe that, but I believe he needs, I think he only needs 2 hits. Yeah, he does need only 2 hits, so he would have been able to kill it. But either way, he didn't try to go for it. Alright. Triple smoke movement. They're trying to find the Sven in the jungle. Let's see if they can do so, as they have to actually walk at him, so this is not the easiest thing to do. They do see these creeps being found. I believe they saw the corpse just dropping out, but nope, they actually moved to the right, so they will not be finding the Sven anytime soon. They may get something in the mid lane though, as there's 2 people sitting under the tower. We do have another smoke movement coming up from the side of Comanche, as the Slot as well as the Kunkka is trying to make a wraparound onto the mid lane, onto the OD. This could be scary though, as that is a 4-on-4 fight starting up now if the OD gets caught, but it looks like they will be continuously trying to dodge this out. Oh, the Oracle though, he could be in danger. Hook, if the hook lands, that could be big. The OD will go for the Astral. They will try and take him down. The call will be used, and the Argle will be taken down. Meanwhile, in the backlines, we do have the Luna dropping very low, courtesy of the boat from the Conker. But so far, it's a 1-for-0 trade. 5-on-5 movements coming online. They may be able to get the Conker as well. They do have the taunt available from the Axe. The Axe will go for the taunt. Hook will come online, and it seems a little bit unnecessary to go for that hook. But either way, they get 2 kills on the side of friends, and they lose nothing. And it looks like the Sven, he will be going for the armlet build this game, actually. I like that build because it's an earlier fighting build. Usually you go for Echo Saber Blink, and then like only after you get the Blink Dagger you're ready to fight. But if you go for armlet, you can actually fight the second you have the armlet. And armlet Blink gives you a little bit more damage output than Echo Saber Blink would do. Just because armlet gives you so many stats, it makes you very tanky, and you hit very hard. You could still follow it up with an Echo Saber like after the armlet, and then have like a double armlet hit, I guess. But it would be a little bit uncontroversial. Usually you don't see both Helm, Echo, and armlet. You see like 2 of the 3 at most, because otherwise you end up having too many defensive, like you have to end up having too many like 2k items that you have to replace instantly, and you don't want to replace too many items on Sven. You just want to keep scaling and scaling, and then eventually get like a Daedalus and whatnot. But if you go for 3 like 2000 gold items, you don't have that slot. Alright, let's see. They wrap around. They know that this is happening. They know the Ancients is being found. The Shadow Demon will be taken down as the first one. And the Luna will be taken down alongside a double kill to Chappy, as that Sunstrike will give enough damage to bring him down. And now he will clear up the rest of these Ancients. He will get a lot of those hits. We have Pudge going in. He does get the stun. Oh, but the call is missed by the Axe. He doesn't get the call off as he blinks in, and he will be taken down before he even gets a chance to do that. Ultra kill to Chappy, as that looked pretty good for the side of Comanche, but no, pretty good for the side of friends. You know, they blink in with a call from the Axe, but he got stunned up, he got turned up as he did that, and then that's just the end of the story. You know, without getting that Berserker's Cult bonus 40 armor, then there's just not anything keeping you safe, and that's 4 kills to the side of the Sven. Suddenly he's 2,000 gold ahead of the Luna. He is getting so much out of this early movement. He has the armor completed now. He almost has his blink up as well at 13 minutes into the game. The Invoker will Hand of Midas completed very soon. 100 gold to go. Very fun Invoker mid, but considering how much farm the Sven just picked up, I think they'll be fine with that. The Conker has his face boots. He has max Tidebringer, so he will slowly transition into that like 4th core that they want on Comanche's side. They get the Oracle killed on Comanche's side, as the Pudge gets a hook, gets a eat onto the Oracle, and they find him. The Pudge goes in and spots out the stack situation from the Sven as well. Alright, the Slaughter is a little bit away from the blink, even though he just got some good assist kills. He's still a while away, so the Axe still has the blink advantage. Let's see if he can find someone big. Oh, he does get hit by that Tidebringer shot, so he knows something is up. The OD will move in there, and they go for blind call, but that will not happen, and now instantly they use the scan. Good fell on the Pudge, does go in, he does use his Dismember onto Chappy, but he does get taken down so quickly. 2 hits from the Sven plus a Purifying Flames from the Oracle, that's more than enough to bring him down. So sadly his team was not fast enough to make a rotation in and help him, as they already used the blink call. The OD, even though he had a 4-staff, he wasn't really quick enough to move in. He's still ahead of the Invoker when it comes to farm by 1500 gold, but with this 4-staff build, he needs to get kills. Like, they need to do something on the side of friends, because after losing that fight and losing a lot of ancient farm, it looks a little bit grim for them. Like, the Axe is trying to farm up a little bit now. I imagine he wants to get his 4-staff or Vanguard very quickly, so he gets a little bit tankier. Maybe even just a Blade Mail Rush could also happen. We'll see though, we'll see. As Conker, he's transitioning into that armlet. As the next item, the Invoker has that Midas I talked about earlier. The Sven blink completed, and the next item for him will most likely be something like the BKB or the Daedalus. Could go for an Echo Saber as well, even though I don't like it. It still could happen. The double hit is very scary. Armlet plus double hit with guard strength, that's a lot of damage you can do in a very small amount of time. And if we take a look at the Luna on the side of friends, he does have his Yasha, he does have his Helm of the Dominator, but with 1000 HP, no BKB or anything like that, against a Sven who's more farmed on him. It's not the easiest time in the world. Oh, but this then gets found in the bottom lane. He may be taken down here. They do get the ultimate from the Shadow Demon off. And Chappie, he should be taken down here. As False Promise will be used, we do have the Luna going in for the ultimate. Chappie should be able to get the blink away. He does have the armor toggling available, but he's soaked so much damage. And yeah, he will be taken down. Oh, it's way too much damage soaked up by that Eclipse for him to survive. So a lot of commitment for the side of friends, but using one big ultimate like the Luna, like the Eclipse from the Luna, getting the Sven killed, who's like the highest net worth target on Comanche by a long shot, and then maybe now getting the Roshan, that's well worth it. Definitely worth it. And you know, friends, they're still ahead. They were ahead before this fight started, but the Sven just, you know, suddenly got a surge of farm, and the Luna will now try and take that top spot back in his favor. They do use the shadow poison from the Shadow Demon just to spot out what's happening. He can spam this all day long as it costs 40 mana, and you know, with an OD on your team, you replenish your mana quite frequently, so that's the courtesy of having an OD. Oracle gets found now, gets spotted out. He needs to be a little bit careful as the Pudge may be a little bit in danger. Oh, they do go in, they do disrupt the Pudge, but the other two gets hit by the boat, and now we have the OD trying to move in, trying to get a kill onto the Oracle. He doesn't get that final hit off, and the Oracle will actually take down to the Shadow Demon in the meantime. In the mid lane, we do have the Luna getting taken down, hit by the Sunstrike, and that's a 1-for-1 trade. That is definitely in favor of Comanche, as now Comanche, they are on the hunt. They do still have Chappie with a blink, with the God Strength popped up. He may try and do something, but I imagine, yeah, he actually goes into the Roshan. He wants to clear this up, and I imagine, friends, they will not let this happen idly. It falls so fast though, it's so low with that amplified damage. We do have the Invoker getting hooked out. They do find it, they do spot it out, but it looks like the Roshan will fall down to the side of friends. Oh, nice disruption reaction onto the starter. He will be controlled up a little bit, but now Chappie moves in. Hook onto Chappie. Chappie will be spotted out. He's not the one holding the Aegis, that's what I was trying to say. So he will be taken down. The Aegis was on the Invoker. A little bit surprising to see the Invoker pick it up, sure. In a normal game, I guess Invoker is very valuable with Aegis, but he just doesn't have enough farm. He doesn't have anything. He has 6,000 gold, very far behind of the OD as well as the Luna. So giving him the Aegis just doesn't feel worth it. And then instantly after the Sven gets hooked, he gets taken down. That's just the most horrible way to get an Aegis taken. You know, they got the Aegis, they got the Roche, but it almost feels like it's not worth it. Like losing the Sven straight after, and friends, they only had to trade the Shadow Demon for that kill. It just feels like, friends, they will be still pretty satisfied with that. Alright, top lane. X mark onto the Luna. The Luna gets control, gets hit by Shaco. Sunstrike to follow it up. And yeah, once again, they find the Luna. They find the... Alright, let's see the other movements, the other heroes, what's happening, guys, as they try to defend this top tower. As Comanche, they moved in, they did a little bit of chip damage to it, but they will pull themselves back, as they can see, you know, with an Axe Illusion just, you know, cutting the wave and being a little bit annoying. It's not that easy. They also have an Axe Illusion in the mid lane cutting. Getting Illusion runes on an Axe is just dirty. You can get so much farm with those two Illusions, and you can see the top one is also just creating a lot of space, giving the Axe a lot of farm, as he is getting this creep wave potentially as well. So a lot of farm going towards the Axe. The Axe does have his Vanguard completed now if he wants to purchase it. He actually goes to the Blade Mill, so he did go for that Blink Blade Mill. Actually, I don't know. It's very common to go for Vanguard, but Blade Mill makes sense. Blade Mill is just a value item. You want to get it before the BKB is complete on the Sven. It's still not up yet. He needs to get the recipe, so it makes sense that you go for the Blade Mill now. The Axe will actually be so scary at this point. If he gets a call into a Blade Mill onto the Slaughter, or the Invoker, or the Sven, all of those three heroes can reflect so much damage onto themselves, so they need to be careful. They need to be very careful about the movements. They do still have the Aegis on the Invoker, so that's one good thing going to the side of Comanche. But apart from that, it just feels like friends, they're in control of this game. They got a tier 1 tower in the top lane taken. They did some damage to the tier 2 tower. They will still keep their other towers alive, as they've only lost a tier 1 tower in this game. So overall, tower advantage to friends, kill advantage to Comanche by 1 kill. They have a lot of farm on friends as well. The only one who's super farmed on Comanche is the Sven, so it kind of feels like Chappie is in that position of a one-man warrior in this game. And I don't know how much he can, like, how long he can keep this up, as Luna will now pick up his Manta style. And then afterwards, I imagine he will go into some evasion or just something like a Scotty, like a heavy item, maybe a BKB as well. The OD also has a lot of survivability with his Hurricane Pike completed. He will probably go for BKB as the next item. Axe with the Blink and the Blade Mail. You know, it's just a lot of heroes on the side of friends who have a decent amount of farm. Whereas Comanche, the Sven is super farmed. He is 3,000 gold ahead of the Luna, but the Invoker is still a little bit behind. He is catching up, but before the Invoker gets his acronym set, I would still say that friends have a buffer room. Like, they have some room to work with. But, you know, this Sven is scary though. And they do go for a smoke movement. Behind the Invoker, they smoke up. They have the BKB on Chappie, so they want to take this fight. T1 Tower will be a solo. This looks like a 5-on-5 fight unfolding, as the Luna's illusions will move on further, just doing some damage onto the Invoker. They still have the Aegis for a little bit. Invoker gets hooked, he gets grabbed in, he gets eaten up, and now Chappie moves into the backline. He tries to spook them away, he gets ulted up by the Shadow Demon. BKB has been used, the Invoker gets taken down, that's just the Aegis. So now Chappie, he gets called up, nice 2-man stun from the Slaughter, secures that the Sven can finally get those hits off that he wanted to, gets 2 kills instantly, and it looks like Comanche, they do salvage that fight with a nice stun from Shaco on the Slaughter. You know, Chappie, he was just getting played with there. The BKB didn't do anything for him. He got ulted by the Shadow Demon. The BKB pretty much made him unable to hit, and he was just standing there. But finally, you know, someone sets up for his damage to come online, as Shaco gets that double stun, and then 2 hits is all that it takes. As after getting 2 hits from the Sven, he just kills the Axe, he kills the Shadow Demon, and suddenly it's a 3-for-1 trade. Sure, they popped the Aegis, but I mean, the Aegis was very close to being down anyways. It was maybe like 30 seconds to go, so it's really not worth it. As friends, they will be now falling behind of Comanche. Comanche is sitting on a 3,000 net worth lead. The Sven is continuing to just pull ahead. I imagine he will go for a MKB as the next item. Normally you see Daedalus being picked up, but the thing is, he's playing against a Luna, so if he decides to go for crit, the Luna will just instantly buy Butterfly, and he would also get he will get Butterfly at some point in this game anyways. So it just makes more sense to go for an MKB, I believe. It could be a personal preference though. I mean, you're sure, because he's so far ahead, he may decide to go for Daedalus and just know that the Luna will not be able to buy a Butterfly at the same time that he has a Daedalus anyways. He does buy a crit now, so that's, you know, the value damage coming online, as he has his early kit complete, well, his late game kit actually almost completed. The Luna with the Manta style as well, so, you know, a lot of illusions can be sent out and do their work. DOD in the top lane, he has 3,000 gold, almost 4,000. With 4,000 gold, he can instantly go for that BKB. He could decide to go for Blink as well, but I believe they just need something that can make them able to fight in a prolonged situation, and BKB is definitely that item. 4-staff on the Shadow Demon, almost a 4-staff on the Pudge as well, so that does help them move around a little bit as well. The Axe is falling behind with the Slaughter now after dying there. The Slaughter actually went for the second item BKB. Usually you see Blink plus 4-staff and then you start scaling into the late game Slaughter builds, but he's just straight away going for the BKB, knowing that if he has a BKB, you know, the OD is not that scary. The Pudge is still has his ultimate, but he doesn't do too much damage. The Luna Eclipse is not scary at all. The Shadow Demon doesn't do too much. It's only the Axe who can really touch you through BKB, like, reliably. Sure, you have some damage, and the Luna is doing 250 damage per hit, but it's nowhere near the same amount of damage output as the Sven does. Alright guys, so bottom lane, let's see the work unfolding. The Luna illusions are just pushing so fast. You can see the Alpha Wolf is just sitting next to the illusions as well, just to give them that damage increase. Now we have Comanche, they're moving in from the side. They don't want to just go in front and try and fight, because then they have to go through the illusions and then get to the players. They rather want to just deal with the players first. So let's see if they can get a good wrap around. They will try and make a smoke movement, I imagine. They do have double BKB available, one on the Slaughter, one on the Sven. The Acronym Scepter is finally completed by the Invoker as well, so they're ready to fight. There's a BKB on the OD, and the Luna is starting to get that Skadi online, but it's 2 BKBs versus 1, you know. BKB advantage definitely still going to the side of Comanche. And let's see, as this is a very slow push from the side of Friends. Makes sense, they know that in a straight 5-on-5 fight, they may not be... They can still fight, but if the Sven ever gets on top of anyone, that person is most likely gonna die, so they rather just want to be very passive, push with illusions only, do the damage with the illusions, and it's working out, you know. They will take this tier 2 tower very convincingly. As Comanche, they don't really find the vision to take a to try and take a jump. They lose the tier 2 tower and they back themselves up. The Roshan is now ready for grabs, so the Pudge will go in and spot this out, and let's see if they decide to go for it. There's a lot of infused raindrops on the ground, you know. No one wants to keep the items on the hero, so they just drop it somewhere and leave it forever. And now let's see, friends, they go for five-man smoke movement. If they can lock down the Sven before he can get his BKB off, that could be huge, as that will be more than enough to do something. They actually just go for smoke, go into the pit, and they try to take the Roshan down. As Comanche, they expect them to be smoked on, because that would be, you know, it's pretty much 2 options. Like, either you smoke for Roche or you smoke for kill. And they decided to go for the later one. They will be scanned out now, though. They will take the Roshan in a good enough time, though. The Luna picks up the Aegis. Now the Starter goes in. BKB has been popped. He will be dismembered up by the Pudge. The Pudge buys a lot of time. And let's see, no one gets taken down so far. The Sven goes into the pit, gets called up. The axe is reflecting a lot of damage back onto Chappy. With that false promise, will be alive for now. And the Luna on the high ground, just, you know, stuck up here, will be taken down. That's 1 life. The OD in the backlines. BKB has been popped. He's trying to do some damage. As from Prisman, let's see if he can get anything. He does get the Invoker finally, but the Sven takes him down, as the Santis Eclipse just didn't do enough damage. Now on the high ground, the Luna finally drops down. I'm not really sure how he even got taken up here. Like, legit, how did he get up there? Did he get... Alright, we need to find out. I think, like, either he got blasted up there, actually. I'm pretty... Like, either he got blasted by the Invoker, or he got hooked by the Pudge and then, like, stunned. Like, he got hooked and then he got stunned, like, when he was up here. But I'm pretty sure that was the blast that pushed the Luna up to the high ground. And very, very unfortunate, because... he can't do anything on the high ground. Aegis or no Aegis, you know, he was just a sitting duck. He wasn't able to do anything for his team. And Comanche, once again, they clean house. They get a good fight for them. The Daedalus is now completed on the Sven, so he is hitting like a truck, 4,000 gold ahead of the Luna. The Invoker with the Acronym Scepter. He did end up dying that fight, so he doesn't have anything to scale into, but he did enough work that fight, and the Sven is continuously scaling. His support heroes are scaling very well. The Conquer has an armlet on top of Vladimir's now. The Slaughter has his Blink plus BKB. We do have the Conquer maybe in trouble in the top lane, though. He will use the boat, giving him that rum debuff just to take away some of the damage, but it's not enough, as he will be taken down. He will be dunked up by the axe, so a little sneaky kill by Friends, just doing whatever they can to get whatever amount of gold back they can. And we have the axe. He's trying to get a BKB in himself as well, so logical item. Oh, Shadow Demon. That's a scary hit, that right there. That Shadow Demon, ulted up, toned it up. Chappy may be in trouble. He does get false promise though, so he will be fine. He will pop his ultimate and just one hits the axe, as that was a crit hit, but he will be taken down in the end. So they did do enough damage to bring him down afterwards, after the false promise ended, as Iki on the Oracle. I'm not sure if he expected him to survive, but it didn't feel like he healed him that much, so very, very unfortunate that Sven ends up dying. Obviously, the Shadow Demon got 5 stacks of Shadow Poison on him, so you never really expect that, like, 1,200 damage pop or something. Definitely a lot of damage being done onto that Sven, and, you know, losing the axe as well as a Pudge for the Sven is, I would say, is worth it. The Sven is just worth so much that any time you kill him is a win. Alright, now we do have the Luna with the Scotty completed, so he has some more stats going his way. I imagine the next item will be the Butterfly, as sure, BKB is still a good item this game against the Invoker, but the Invoker hasn't really been the issue so far. It's always been the Sven, so they need to do something to keep on mitigating the Sven's impact, and evasion, you know, is the next logical step. Looks like the Shiva's Guard will be the next item for the OD. He almost has enough gold to complete it as well. Gives you some armor, gives you that Shiva's Guard debuff, and keep in mind that BKB on the Sven is slowly dropping down. It's on 8 seconds now, so he still has like 2 or 3 value uses, but after that, you know, 5 second BKBs is just not as powerful. Alright, looks like the Conker is transitioning into that crit damage, so Daedalus will be the next item for him. That's a lot of damage that you can suddenly do with a Conker, and definitely not something you would expect this game, that, you know, suddenly just goes up one-shots, creep waves, and does, like, you know, AoE 600, 700 damage per pop. You already have enough issues with the Sven, and now with the Conker being relevant more and more as the game goes on, it could be scary. The Sven is even going for an Assault Crest as the next item just to... I believe he sold his Helm of the Dominator to buy that Hyperstone, so he decided to just keep the armor a little bit longer and take away the lifesteal. Now Chappie popping his ultimate, expecting to be able to jump onto the OD instantly there, but that is not the case, as Dire using the scan, they tried to spot out whoever was sitting down here, like trying to disengage from this camp. Didn't find anyone. Yet again, Astral Imprisonment will be used, and Shaco will not be able to do too much. BKB will be popped on the Sven, keeping him alive, but he already uses Guard Strength. It will be running out very, very soon. False Promise is gone as well now, so friends, they could be the ones looking for an initiation now. False Promise on cooldown, Guard Strength on cooldown, BKB on cooldown, and Comanche, they find absolutely nothing. Alright, they go in. Axe finds the Invoker. He's trying to get an initiation onto him. He does have that evasion available. Invisibility, sorry. I'm not sure what word I was using. Either way, Invoker will be fine though. Just barely out of that call range, so he does escape with his life. He will split push the top lane, and in the meantime we do have friends just making their move into the mid lane. Still just abusing those couple of seconds they can with the BKB being on cooldown. It will be up again in 10 seconds, so they can still fight on the side of Comanche, and they're still very, very powerful. But if friends can do anything, then they will do just that. They will take the tier 3 tower down to half HP with the illusions. So it's working out fine so far. You know, illusions just pushing forward. Shaco goes onto the Pudge, gets a stun up, and the Chappie goes in 2 hits, 3 hits, and that will be a kill onto the Pudge. One down, one guy down. Now the axe goes in, BKB gets popped, and that will be 1 kill onto Shaco potentially, as the OD drops so low. Even with the BKB, just the sheer damage output from Chappie just destroys people. He gets the axe killed, he gets the Luna kill. Shadow Demon 2-3 hits. He will be taken down. Beautiful attempt by Chappie as well. He tried to get the OD in the on the high ground, because as you saw, he actually changed aggro, started hitting this creep because the cleave could have hit him and done enough damage to kill the OD, but a little bit unfortunate that the OD was far enough away to not be hit by the cleave. But a nice attempt. You know, he lost the slaughter, they got 4 kills in return, and now they will be the ones on the aggressive side. The buybacks are available on the heroes on the side of friends, or well, you know, the Axe and the Luna. So we'll see if they can force out a buyback. That would be the go-to dream here for the side of Comanche, as they are just looking so much in control of this game. The Luna, every single time there's like a little bit of a buffer room, the Luna catches up in farm with the Sven, but he still just remains 5,000 gold away from him, and 5,000 gold is very hard for Luna to make up for. Like, sure, when he has Butterfly plus MKB, he can do a little bit more, but so far, you know, Scotty, Manta, it gives him a lot of damage against the what's it called, support heroes on Comanche, but against Sven, against Invoker, against Slada, it's just not enough. And the Conker, he's also just transitioning further and further. He has a blink now. The Invoker has the Shiva's Guard completed, very tanky, does a lot more damage now as well. The Oracle, still just Poor Man's Oracle, because he's the one who has to make space for the Conquer to get this much farm. The Slaughter has his 4-staff complete now. A little bit interesting, he actually went back down to the 4-staff, but it makes sense because you always want to have at least one 4-staff on your team, and they don't have any, so him picking it up makes sense, because the Oracle is not going to have the money for that anytime soon. Looks like the Oracle is trying to go for the cheap value item, Glimmer Cape. 100 gold to go to complete this, so that will give him a little bit at least. Alright, looks like both teams are trying to just find an engagement. The Roshan is still not up yet, even though it very much could be. You saw that friends that went for a scan, just spotting out whether or not Comanche was in the pit trying to clear it, but they are not. They're in the bottom area, they're pushing on in the bottom area with the Forge Spirits. They don't need to actually show themselves, as they can just be a little bit sneaky, farm aggressively in the Radiant jungle. And right now they know that friends, they are not really doing too much when it comes to farming. They're actually going for smoke gank. They want to try and take the fight to Comanche, as obviously the Roshan will be at its maximum respawn timer very soon, so someone is kind of doomed to try and take it. And let's see, Luna goes in, does have the Eclipse available to get the hook onto the Oracle. The Oracle gets found, gets jumped on. He does go invisible with that Glimmer Cape, with that Shadow Amulet. Oh, and you know, he's trolling them very, very heavily, but it's just not enough. He will be taken down eventually. He bought a lot of space there, though. They could have maybe done something. That Shadow Amulet, you know, continuously just going invisible, can troll with even the brightest minds on Earth, man. They don't have any gems or anything like that on friends either, so they may be forced to buy a gem now. The Shadow Demon, yep, he just instantly buys a gem. He will be able to take away the wards from Comanche now, and the Glimmer Cape will not be an issue once that's completed, so makes sense. Let's see, Comanche, they move in, Tornado will be shot out, doesn't hit onto anything though, as the OD is in the pit. Sunstrike comes online as well, and friends, they will back themselves up. They will start making illusions, send them towards the area where Comanche is residing, and let's see, as Shaco will be spotted out on the Slaughter. He will take a little bit of damage from those illusions. He needs to be careful because those illusions can be very, very vicious. And now the Roshan once again will be gone on by friends, but Comanche, they want to try and stop this. Hook onto Shaco on the Slaughter. He goes into the pit. He tries to get initiation onto anyone, but the BKB is running out and he doesn't do anything with it. Now we do see the axe going in for Berserker's Call. He does get a dunk on the Slaughter. One dead on the side of Comanche already. In the backsides, we do see the Sven getting eaten up by the Pudge, trying to just buy some time. The axe may be a little bit in trouble. He does have the taunt available. Doesn't get it off though. And now this Sven, no BKB available. He may be taken down here. Astral Imprisonment is available, and they will try and bring him down. But the False Promises keeps him alive, as now the OD needs to be a little bit careful. Astral Imprisonment onto Chappie. Go for it. No, okay, he just waits it, and in the end, the False Promise pops, and the OD will be alive. The Sven gets taken down. The Roshan is up for grabs for friends now, and finally, they managed to take a team fight that worked out for them, and not the other way around. Alright, the Invoker tried to pop the OD instantly, just popping the Aegis, but he just went for the safe play, you know, eat the cheese. If anything, then, you know, don't waste the... Actually, he didn't have the Aegis anyways, like the Luna is the one who picked up the Aegis, so the OD just ate the cheese in case of him dropping down. Obviously, you never want that to happen, especially when you're the ones who's on the aggressive right now, because the Pudge is up in 3 seconds, the Axe is up in 10 seconds, and they still have 45 seconds when those two heroes are up before the Sven is back up, so they can maybe try and force a buyback, or at least get like a tier 3 tower, maybe a set of racks taken. We'll see. As Comanche, they do have to respond to this now. They do go in. clear a lot of damage onto those illusions with the Invoker going in. Sunstrike will be shot out. He's trying to catch the Shadow Demon. Doesn't really happen though, as the Luna is in the bottom lane. And now Shaco goes in, tries to do some damage. BKB has been popped. The OD pops his own BKB. He will be fine for now. He goes in, tries to get a grab onto the Conker. The Conker does escape. Astral Imprisonment, not needed. They just go for the Sandity's Eclipse onto the Slaughter. He is dead now. Still 13 seconds to go before the Sven is back up. He doesn't want to use his buyback at this point, even though he does have it available. And that will be a set of frags taken down, maybe by the Luna. That's the range frags down. Sven is now back up. They need to be careful. The melee rags is being assaulted by the illusions. Maybe they can take them down. Oh, nice cosmetic blast by the Invoker. Buys them some time. Maybe that's enough time, but the Luna, he's still staying. He does have the Aegis available still, so he wants to take this down, even if it costs him his Aegis. He will take it down, so that is one set of frags down for the side of Comanche, and now they have everyone but the Slaughter alive. They want to wait for the Slaughter if they possibly can, but friends, they are just continuing to put up pressure. They have their mana regen hero here in the mid lane, so they can just, you know, spam out spells and regen mana. Eclipse still available. They have everything available except for the Sanity's Eclipse on the OD. So let's see. As the second set of frags will be gone on. The Luna is doing so much work with those glaives, just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And now the Sven goes in, gets a jump onto the OD. The OD gets disrupted. He will be fine for now. The hook gets used onto the Sven. The Sven gets eaten up by the Pudge. Pudge is buying so much time, just making Chappie useless in this fight. And Chappie, he will be popped. He will be dead instantly. May have to go for the buyback. He will indeed buyback onto the Conker as well. Friends, they've only lost the Shadow Demon so far. The OD may drop down. Another good hook from Real Good Fella, as he will give up his life trying to keep the OD safe. The OD goes for the Astral Spirit. Will maybe be alive, but no, he gets hit by the last hit from the Invoker, and he will be taken down. The Axe is still alive for now, but he should be taking down. Another hook onto the Conker this time. Real Good Fella, he's trying to get a kill on him. Oh, the Luna goes for one hit. Oh, but the Conker survives. Armlet. And now the Luna is all alone. He should be taken down here, as there's no way this guy should survive. Manta Star will be popped. He may be trying to get a kill onto the Luna, onto the Invoker in the meantime, but no, he gets controlled, and that's a full 5-man team wipe on the side of Friends. But you know, it's a 5-man team wipe. We can't say no to that. However, Comanche, they lost the melee racks in the mid lane. They lost the racks in the bottom lane. They bought back on the Sven of all the heroes. They bought back the Conker as well. They, you know, they got a gem back, but using the buyback on the Sven is just such a dreadful thing. Friends, they don't even have to buy back now, because the Shadow Demon can defend this creep wave coming in, and considering how much damage is being done to the side of Comanche, like they have to push out the bottom lane, they have to push out the mid lane, they have to push out the top lane as well. It's just so much time that they have to use to just like set up for themselves to get out of the base. And now that they can get out of the base, you know, the Luna is on 45 seconds respawn timer. The Pudge is back up, the OD is up in 20, the Axe is up in 5. They don't have to use any buybacks whatsoever, and you can see they're picking up the next set of items. The Hex is available on the OD. We have the Pudge with a Lotus Orb and a Ghost Scepter. We have the Luna with that Butterfly I was talking about earlier. And this is kind of where the Sven falls off, because it's the lowest BKB charge now. Daedalus was great before, but now he has to get an MKB before he's fully effective, and he doesn't have enough gold to complete it. And they have so many ways to control him outside of the BKB. So the second the BKB ends, he will not be able to hit whatsoever. He will be hexed up. He will be, even through the BKB, you know, the Dismember has always been used on the Sven. Like, this Pudge has been able to hook him every single time, Dismember him in a full duration, and that's you know, how long is that? That is 3 seconds of a disable through BKB, so that's pretty much like 60% of the, well, a little bit more than that. It's like 65% of the BKB on the Sven that just, you know, gets used for nothing. Let's see now, though, as we do have Shaco going in, gets a jump onto Sound of Life on the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon does go for the defensive disruption, though. Will be alive, will get the blink away, and he will be fine. So beautiful blink away from him. He still keeps himself alive. He gets the ultimate onto Chappie. Chappie gets controlled up. False Props will be used instantly, but Chappie is still under control. Another blink away from the OD, and Chappie, he just can't find a target. And now the Oracle. Very, very close to dying there, but it will be the Invoker who got hooked, who got Astral up, controlled up. He will be taking down 2 for 1 trade. The Pudge is dead, but either way, friends, they once again, they just managed to completely zone out Chappie. They don't give him an inch to work with. He gets like 1 hit off on the Shadow Demon. That's the only hit he ever got in that fight. with his BKB use, with his blink use, he just couldn't get anything. And now Comanche, they're back on the back lines. The Sven has his BKB as well as his Guard Strength on cooldown for 20 seconds. So we'll see. Invoker goes for a buyback. That's a big one as well. Invoker and the Sven both don't have buyback on the side of Comanche now. So one more fight is all it takes from the side of Friends. And they have everything needed to be able to make this work. The Luna Illusions is doing work as well, as the Luna is actually moving into the base. Needs to be a little careful, as the Illusions should be able to do enough work by their own right. Mid lane we have the range frags also dropping down. You know, the bottom lane is naturally pushing in as well, so they can just siege this slowly and they will be able to win that siege wall. Nice Astral onto the Luna, keeping him safe. You know, disruption, Astral. There's just no way this Conquer can ever get an X mark onto anyone. And whoever gets stunned up will be Astral. So the Luna needs to be a little bit careful maybe. Oh, he goes in. OD jumps in. Gets a jump onto the Oracle. The Oracle goes for the Shadow Amulet. But in the end, it's just not good enough. He will be taken down. Eclipse use from that by the OD. 2 dead. Shabby is down as well. And this looks like a GG from Comanche, as they have lost their right clicker, they've lost their off laner. Invoker still standing, but that's so much damage, as he will be taken down. Okay, nice invisibility will be used, but the 2 shots will be shot. 1 hit, 2 hit, both hit, and Invoker is dead in the fountain. GG gets called, as Comanche, they will commit suicide, they will admit defeat, whatever you want to call it, friends. They will win this best of 2 series 2-0, and you know, proving that they are the better team. I would say though that Comanche, they fought surprisingly well. I didn't expect them to get as much done as they actually did in this game, because the lineup just felt a lot weaker than Friends, but they got some room. The Sven did a lot of work that game, but eventually, the later you go in the game, the easier it is to control the Sven, and that's what Friends did. They just controlled him. They didn't let him do anything whatsoever. The Shadow Demon is a beautiful here to keep him in place because of the slow you can use with the ultimate, the punch with the Dismember. They had so many ways to deal him with the BKB on or not, so Friends, you know, nice win. And that will be the end of this best of 2 series. We will have another one starting up right now, I believe, actually, as the next lobby should be coming online very soon. Let's see if it's up now. The next game will be Sanguine Sharks versus Fantastic 5, I believe. That should be interesting. Either way, it will be online in a little bit, so you guys can stay tuned. Those guys joining in, I guess you guys are joining for that game because the last one wasn't on launch or anything like that. But stay tuned, guys. I'm Mad Kings, and we will have some more games coming online in a second. So, yep. Alright guys, welcome back as the next best of 2 series in Pro Dota. Well, what am I saying? I always do Pro Dota, so that's like the go-to thing. Either way, it is Dota 2 Danger Cup. Sorry for that, guys. Either way, best of 2 series, so there's some group stage games. We have Sanguine Sharks versus Fantastic 5 up for you now. And yeah, let's see what these two teams can do up against each other, obviously. This is a new tournament, as far as I'm aware, not a tournament that's been around for too much. The teams, though, they've been around forever. You know, Sanguine Sharks is a team that recently like resurfaced. They were up, then they were down for a little while. They didn't do too well. They were like doing they were doing like tier 2 join Dota stuff, but recently they've actually been looking pretty promising. They've had some good showings, and let's see how well they play up against Fantastic 5, a team that we all know. Having, you know, BCC, Illidan, whatever.